Welcome in. Today, we're digging into a business plan that asks a pretty huge question. Can an AI really listen? We're going to explore FOLQ, a company that believes the answer is yes, and that it lies right at the intersection of voice technology and our global mental health crisis. So, to really get the why behind this whole idea, you've got to understand just how massive this problem is. The World Health Organization says that 1 out of every 8 people on the entire planet is living with a mental health disorder. That's more than a billion people. A billion people looking for some kind of support.
And that right there, that gets to the absolute heart of this plan's argument. The problem isn't that people aren't asking for help. The demand is overwhelming. The real issue is that our current systems are failing to meet that demand in a way that's safe, that's accessible, and that's ethical. There's this massive gap in both design and responsibility.
Okay, so what does this broken system actually look like for people on the ground? The plan calls it the silent crisis, and for millions, it forces them into what feels like an impossible choice.
Well, right now, if you're looking for help, you're pretty much trapped between 2 options, and neither of them are great. On one hand, you've got traditional care, which can be blocked by crazy high costs, impossible wait lists, or just the stigma of asking for help. So what do people do? In desperation, a lot of them are turning to general-purpose AI chatbots. But these AIs were never, ever built for this kind of support, and that creates some really serious safety and ethical risks.
And this is exactly the gap that FOLQ is designed to step into. The whole idea is to be a voice in the dark, a purpose-built third option. And it wasn't just born out of market research, but from some deeply personal experience.
You see, the company was founded by Chris Edwards, a military veteran who is living with PTSD himself. This makes it so much more than just a business idea. It's a mission. His own lived experience gives the whole project this incredible authenticity, and it means a trauma-aware approach is baked in from the very beginning. So, okay, what is FOLQ, really? Put simply, it's a voice-first mental well-being companion. And it's really important to stress this. It is not therapy. It's designed to be a safe, anonymous, always-on space where you can get emotional support whenever you need it.
All right, this is where things get really, really interesting from a tech perspective. How can an AI possibly provide meaningful emotional support? How does it actually listen?
The secret sauce here is something that's actually pretty simple in concept, but incredibly complex to pull off. FOLQ is built around prosody. That's the rhythm, the stress, the intonation of your voice. It's not just listening to your words, it's listening to the feeling behind the words. It's like it has an emotional ear. This whole thing is powered by their proprietary engine, which they call Liberty, and it basically listens in layers. First, it analyzes the prosody, the tone of your voice. Second, it assesses the sentiment in the actual words you're using. Third, it tracks the context of your conversations over time, and then it combines all of that data to create one powerful number, a dynamic sentiment resonance score. So that's the tech. It's the foundation, for sure. But how do you turn that into a real, sustainable business, especially in a market that's getting more and more crowded?
Well, if you look at the landscape, you can see exactly where FOLQ fits in. It's not one of those clinical text-based bots that just gives you prompts. And it's not a general AI companion that's just designed to keep you talking at all costs. No, FOLQ is carving out this new middle ground. It's all about high emotional fidelity, thanks to the voice analysis, and it's built from the ground up on one core principle: safety-led support. And to get this out to as many people as possible, they're not just relying on one revenue stream. It's a hybrid model. There are direct subscriptions for individuals, enterprise licensing for businesses or universities, and even partnerships with governments to help support specific groups, like veterans.
Okay, let's be real. Whenever you talk about AI and mental health, the biggest word in the room is always trust. So wisely, this plan tackles the biggest ethical questions head on. So let's hit the big one right out of the gate. With an AI that's designed to be so emotionally intelligent, is there a risk that people could get too attached or even become dependent on it?
Their answer is something they call anti-dependency by design. And this is absolutely crucial. It's not some patch they added on later. It's baked into the core experience from the start. We're talking about things like built-in session limits, clear reminders that you're talking to an AI, and prompts designed to give you agency back, to encourage your own reflection, not reliance on the tech. All right, but what about the really serious stuff? What happens if someone is in an actual immediate crisis? And again, you see that safety-first mindset. First off, FOQ is super clear that it isn't therapy. It has these layered escalation protocols to gently guide users towards real human support when they need it. And the entire project is guided by a clinical advisory board to make sure they're getting it right.
You know, all of this really points to a core value that seems to drive every decision they make, from product design to business strategy. For FOLQ, safety before scale isn't just a catchy tagline, it is their guiding principle. And look, this isn't just some idea on a whiteboard. This is happening right now. The platform is already in a beta test with really high-risk groups like veterans and carers. The plan lays out a clear path to a public launch, but only after all the safety validation is done. And from there, the goal is to reach 25,000 paid subscribers within 2 years.
So when you strip it all away, it comes back to this really powerful vision, creating a world where no one has to suffer in silence, and where AI isn't trying to replace human care, but to augment it, to support it.
And that really leaves us with a huge question to think about for the future. As artificial intelligence gets better and better at understanding human emotion, what is it really going to mean to be heard?